फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन की कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Hello and namaste, everyone. On behalf of Team FranGlobal, it is a real pleasure to welcome all of you, our participants, the team members, people who have actually taken out time and shown interest for the Master Franchisee Summit that is being organized today. Just to share you a little bit brief about FranGlobal, it is the international arm of Franchise India. We exclusively work with international brands across the globe and facilitate their market entry and expansion to build and develop their brand presence across different territories. Talking about Franchisee India, it is the largest franchising facilitator in the business in Asia. Franchising. I'm sure we have all heard the term, but what is franchising and what is the importance and of master franchising in the today's global scenario? As we know, the recent rising trend in global franchising world has been such that many global brands have now embraced leveraging local expertise to navigate diverse markets. Master franchising has proven to be an effective means of rapidly penetrating new and emerging markets. It allows the brands to grow their presence quickly without the need for extensive direct investment. It is widely adopted across various industries, including fast food, retail, hospitality, education, and even the service sector. As you already know, some of the most recognized international brands like Subway, KFC, McDonald's, Starbucks, and many more have achieved global success through master franchising, adapting their models to local preferences and cultures in each geography. Master franchising contributes to the economic growth of both the franchisee's home country and the countries where master franchises operate. It stimulates local economies by creating jobs and business opportunities. This franchising model has led to a significant increase in the number of franchisee units worldwide, thereby bringing franchising as a more popular and viable option of business expansion. This growth is attributed to the scalability and efficiency of the master franchising approach. Now, talking about some successful master franchising systems that often involve into a high degree of adaptation to local markets, encompassing variation in products, marketing strategies, and operational practices. Now, what is the benefit of the franchises? From the franchise's point of view, master franchising helps mitigate risks associated with unfamiliar markets. Master franchisees, being the locals, are better positioned to navigate regulatory, cultural, and economic challenges. The focus of master franchising has expanded to include emerging markets where there is a growing middle class and increasing consumer demand for international brands. Let's look at the India market now. The India franchising industry is scheduled to touch around USD 150 billion in the next 5 years. Yes, that's huge. The industry is valued at INR 800 billion and is expected to continue growing in the coming years at an unprecedented rate of 30 to 35% per annum. According to a report 2023-24. Talking about India, after US, India is the largest franchising market globally. And since Indian franchising market is still nascent, to explore this untapped gold mine of an emerging market. Today, we are really glad to have with us brands from different corners of the world who present excellent master franchising opportunities in India. To begin with, we have indoor entertainment park for kids and families, followed by a brilliant new concept from Norway, which is the social gaming group that combines our love for gaming and dining, the unique new segment called gastro gaming. After that, we have another unique F&B brand from South Africa that brings to us the authentic flame grilled chicken, none other than Barcelos. And lastly, far from the west, from the land of the amazing opportunities that is the USA, we have Miami Global Lines, which is a logistics company that offers transportation, warehousing, and other specialized services. So with such amazing plethora of brands today at your disposal, I would like to welcome all of you to attend this session and begin today with UK's Flip Out.
Flip Out is a global network of indoor trampoline parks offering a variety of activities such as trampoline obstacle courses and foam pits. These parks are designed for family entertainment. We have John and Words with us today, the head of international development Flip Out. John is responsible for growing and developing international territories and extend extensive support to the master franchisees. I now invite John to talk about the opportunity we have for India market. Over to you, John.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And it's great to be here today to let you know a little bit about our brand and who we are and what we do, and our expansion plans globally. We have been established now for over 10 years, and we're trading with over 60 sites globally in a multitude of different locations and countries. The franchise model for us has been very popular. We originated in Australia, and every market that we go into, we tend to be the leader in that market. So we see, with India being the second biggest franchise market globally, there's a huge opportunity. And that being said, it's not just the opportunity of franchising; it's our industry. Our industry is emerging. It's a huge growth market. And what we have is very compelling and different. And what I'll do just to sort of touch to kick off is I'll share a video which will show you what we're about, the look and feel of Flip Out, and what we offer as a brand concept. So if you just bear with me a second, I will share my screen now. So as you can see, it's very exciting concept, very visual, and lots of fun. I am just going to share a presentation and talk you through it now. There we go. 1 second. Stop. So a little bit about the evolution and where we've come from. We started off as a trampoline park brand, which was a brand new concept back then, but very quickly things developed and the industry grew. We basically evolved with the industry, and where the competition came in, we started to adapt and develop the brand. So what we are now is very much a family entertainment centre. And what we have is a multitude of different activities all under one roof. So it's less just about the trampolines and more about having a variety, all for one ticket price, which is great value for the family. But it also sets us apart from the competition, and it makes it a very exciting experience. And it also helps the dwell time. So people spend a lot of time in the park. It's not just for an hour; they'll spend 2-3 hours. And we have different revenue streams. So we have the play area, we'll have the arcades. There's a full F&B area where you can sit down and have a coffee and a bite to eat. And then we have the dedicated party room areas. So we're very big on kids' birthday parties, and they're a big revenue driver for us as well. And it's about the all-encompassing experience. So you go in, you're in a flip out. Every single wall is wall-to-wall graffiti, and it's very much a 3D experience. And we've developed that over time. So you'll find that, really there's no one in the market that does it like we do. And that's why every market we go into, we tend to dominate. We've got just under 20 sites in Australia. There's over 30 in the UK now. We have sites in Mexico and various different regions growing at the moment. So it's an exciting time for Flip Out. And, we're very happy to be partnering with FranGlobal to introduce the brand into India, and we know it will be a huge success over there. So the evolution is to where we are today, and it's all about multiple activities all under one roof. We have 42 at the moment, and they can be things like electric go-karting, ninja courses, large inflatable areas, ice skating. You can have laser quest, arcade areas. The list really goes on. And what we essentially do is we work with the franchisee to source the best location, and then we can help with the negotiations on the lease and understanding the economics around that and what works. And once we've selected the site size, typically it's 15,000 square feet and above, we can go into the project design phase, really, where we help lay out the park. We make sure that the look and feel is great, and the flow, the customer journey really works. It's very visual impact center. It's not just putting equipment into a space. It's very much the whole look and the feel and theming around it that makes Flip Out what it is. And obviously we've done over 60 sites now. So we have a lot of experience in laying out these sites and getting the best capacity and experience for the square foot. And obviously we have a lot of data on the staffing and the way that each individual piece of equipment is manned and maintained and run. And we also know what doesn't work, which is great, because we've tried, through trial and error, we've understood what works and what doesn't work. So we really feel like we've got the winning formula now. And we can offer the full package to the franchisee. So it's the full A to Z package and the understanding about how to run the business. This is a 9-hole golf course that we put into one of our centres. This is a ninja tag area, which typically has about 15 different activities, slides and ball pits and all sorts of things in there. The electric go-karts, we just launched those recently. They're hugely popular, and we're putting them into all of our centres now. They're very safe, and they work for the younger kids from the age of sort of 3 to 13. So they're very popular. And just a bit more about the design and fit out. This is a typical layout here. So we basically get the plans, we get the architects to draw up, and our in-house design team to lay out the site. And then it really can be tailored depending on the size of the location. We can have a 150 square meter soft play. We can have a 400 meter square soft play. We can have a 50-seater restaurant cafe, or we can have a 250-seater restaurant. It really is tailored to the space, and I think that's where landlords they like what we do, because we're flexible with the space, and sometimes they have awkward spaces that need to be filled, and that's where we can put our hat in the ring. Typically, the height that we need for a site is a good height is about 4.5 meters. The higher the location, the better, but we can work with 3 meters, so there's some flexibility there. And in terms of the landlord deals, we can very much help with things like that. We can help with the lease negotiations, and we can help with just understanding how the contracts go together, but also to help with incentives, because we're a strong brand, and we've obviously worked with every major landlord, certainly in Europe and Australia. There's a lot of synergy there, and there's some good deals to be had, i.e., capex and rent free and things like that from the investor, from the landlord. We can also help with finance as well, which is something that is tied into our equipment package that can help franchisees actually fund the sites. To go through into the marketing a little bit, we're quite a strong marketing machine. There's a lot of collateral there. There's a lot of information and history on social media, and just understanding what brings people to the venues. We have all different sort of activities and things throughout the year, and different media campaigns that are tried and tested, and we understand how to push those out and get the return on the investment in terms of that. Operational support is paramount, really. Just understanding the day-to-day operations of the business, and how to support the team, and understand that you don't have to be there 24/7. You can run the site from afar. So we have systems in place. For instance, Jolt, which is a daily operational system for all of the equipment checks. It might be the toilet checks. It could be the fire alarm safety, or anything in the site that needs to be checked on a daily, weekly, annual basis, whatever it may be, is all run online through Jolt. And on the back end of that, prior to opening, we have a 16-week onboarding process where we'll help you through every single stage, from the build all the way through to recruitment, training of the general manager, and understanding of all the systems and processes that help your store tick and run effectively and profitably. And the training is ongoing. We have video training for all of the different roles within the business. And then it's the ongoing support. So we're always on the end of the phone, and we're always here to help. Essentially, every new one we open needs to be a replica of the one before. It has to be excellent. This is some of the project management stuff that we use on the way to opening of the site. So you've got a breakdown. It's all templated to every single element you'll need to actually open, all the systems you need, and all of the detail that sits behind that. We run that through a system called Trello, and again, full training will be provided for that. So there's a full suite of information which really helps alleviate any unknowns, so you can quite smoothly open a flip out center. We have a comprehensive operations manual as well, which has been developed over time. And again, it's the full A to Z, from opening the center all the way through to operating and understanding the ins and the outs of the business. That includes a lot of health and safety and the management, staffing, the rotas, how to effectively manage your stock control and everything in the business. So obviously, you'll be trained on, but this is your Bible that you'll have online and a hard copy if you wish to have to hand. This is some of the training programs that we have. So you go in and you can basically go in, you can see the name, who's trained, all the different training courses down there. And all the different elements. They all have training videos that are attached. Just some of the sections of the operations manual, just to show how much detail is in there and what sits behind it. And then this, we tend to use Google Drive for all of the assets that sit behind it. So things like completion reports in terms of the operation, so we know what's been done, what's not been done. The owner or operator can log in and see exactly what's happened in the center at any particular time. Has everyone done the checks they're meant to have done? And then you can get the information on that. And also the rostering and understanding the team and when they're coming in and who's working at what time. and then with that you can build the budget to understand the key drivers in the business. We can then break down into a daily summary. So how many people have booked in the day? What was the funds received? And then you can drill down in a bit more granular detail in terms of understanding the where was the money spent? Was it in the cafe? Was it in kids' parties? Where what sold the most today? Was it coffee? Was it the slush? Etc. etc. Memberships is a big program that we've been running lately. It's very popular. We've opened one in Denmark recently. It had 1,500 members in the first 6 weeks. So this is great recurring revenue. It's something that differentiates us from the competition as well, and it creates that loyalty to the brand. So we're really excited about our new membership structure, and that's something that we suggest to use in India as well. And then it's reviews, so it's getting good feedback and positive comments from people that visit and our customers. So what I'll do is I'll do a quick snapshot before we get to the Q&A on, I'm not sure if we've got time for Q&A, but the financials. So as I mentioned before, the typical size of a flip out in the UK and in other territories, it's much larger, 20,000 to 30, and our biggest one's 65,000 square feet. But obviously that comes hand in hand with the investment level. Around 15,000, 13 to 15,000 is the minimum size. And the reason we need it that big is because of the experience. You have to have at least 6 or 7 different activities to make flip out what it is. So you have a wow factor and something really exciting. And also, it just helps differentiate yourself from the competitors. If you go in with a really small one and someone opens a big one next door, then the size in this instance does matter. So we're looking at 15,000 square foot, around £750,000 sterling, which is 79 crore in Indian. We have to double check on that, but yeah, around £750,000. And then we're looking at annual visitors of circa 50,000. This is paying guests. There's going to be additional visitors, the parents and spectators and things like that come in. But this is like a yearly revenue, and then the expenses and the EBITDA. So when you look at these numbers, and obviously, if you're interested in getting involved in investing, we can go into a lot more detail into these numbers. But the typical payback period is about 2.7 years on average. But what we found is going into a new territory where there's a lack of competition, that payback time can be a lot quicker. The payroll, we've looked at the salaries and the cost of goods and things like that. They are lower in India, so that makes for a good business there. And net margins of the EBITDA fall out at about 36%. So it's a strong model, and yeah, we're looking forward to opening our first ones in India and rolling out. And we think there's a huge opportunity for growth because of the sheer population you've got there and the key cities that you've got there, but also the rise in family entertainment, the need for landlords wanting to utilize the space, and the lack of competition in India. So that's my presentation today, guys, and appreciate you for listening in. Any questions?
Thank you, John. That was very nice.
No problem.
Questions, I don't see any, but
no.
Tell me about your expansion plans, like the cities that you're targeting in India, like the first installment at least.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's something I think I'm going to be guided by you guys, but Delhi, Mumbai, some of the main major cities and the outskirts. I mean, where there's a dense population of north of 500,000 people. I mean, obviously the affluency levels are going to be quite important for this business. So yeah. I think with any typical location, we'll do a map of the demographics, and we'll see if the site's suitable or not, right? And that's work that we'll do together. So in terms of our expansion plans, it's going to be led by the key cities, but also led by the investment and who wants to get on board with this opportunity, and then we can assess that and obviously feedback if that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. And in terms of your ideal partner profile, like, do you have any specific kind of investors that you're looking for, like any segment that maybe they are into, already operators who are in the business, or someone with a fresh perspective?
Yeah, I think both can work. I mean, for us, it's very much someone that's got operational experience. Is very much an operator's type of business. Someone who understands numbers and financials and those key areas in the business, and obviously marketing. We're a big marketing business as well, so it's important to get the word out there and let people know they're understood. So, so yeah, I mean, obviously well considered and have the right investment levels to be able to enter into the business, because it's a relatively high investment. We understand that, but the returns are very good, and a proven track history in business, in operating businesses. Training will be provided. Not everyone knows how to run a family entertainment center. We understand that. But we do have to have some basic, foundations of business and understanding of how it works. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. That was lovely. And
Pleasure.
yeah, so we'll share your contact and as well as our contact in the chat box for those of who are interested. And it is also live on YouTube, and we'll be getting leads from there, and we'll get in touch with you very soon.
Brilliant. That sounds great. Thank you for today.
Thank you so
everyone who's
much.
listening, and hopefully we'll get some flip outs in India soon. Okay.
Yes, we look forward to that. Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have the social gaming group delivering shared happiness through technology and people. There's been a significant and enduring shift in consumer preferences and behaviors towards experiences related to hospitality. And the social gaming group is one such example on how exemplarily the industry is adapting to consumer expectations. We have Troy Warfield, the CEO of the social gaming group. Over to you, Troy.
Well, thank you very much. And it's an absolute pleasure to be here. And a little bit of background on myself. Many years in consumer goods companies with Unilever and Kimberly-Clark, up to European general management. Moved into the service industry with Avis Budget and Zipcar, where I was the Chief Commercial Officer and Global Franchising and Licensing Officer. Then joined the Executive Committee and Board of British Airways, looking at the end-to-end customer experience. And that's my serious career. Moved into the fun career then of competitive socializing. So that was with a company called Topgolf, and I sold around $3.5 billion worth of contracts around the world for Topgolf. And in combination with my role as CEO of the Social Gaming Group, which I'm going to talk about today, I'm also on the board of a company called Surf Lakes, which make surf parks. So I think I seem to be at the center of this thing called competitive socializing. The other part is why India, and why India in such a part of the growth strategy of the Social Gaming Group. And that's really very obvious for me. First of all, it's a country that I've had great pleasure in working with over the last 20 years, and have grown businesses within India before, and thoroughly enjoy all of my interactions that I've had. I think the other part is the numbers speak for themselves. 1.5 billion people, $4 trillion US in the value of the economy, and in particular for our proposition, 65% of the population below 35, and an educated population. More MBAs coming out of India per year than I think the world combined elsewhere. So it is perfect in terms of the expansion of the Social Gaming Group. And in particular, I'm going to talk to you about our brand, Oki. And Oki, what we've done is the Social Gaming Group is a tech company in hospitality to create shared happiness. And within that, we've taken the game of darts and we've automated the game of darts. So you throw a real dartboard. We do the rest via technology to bring a myriad of new games to the fore. And we marry that with outstanding international sharing plates, beers, wines, cocktails, champagne, so you get a full experience. So rather than just talking about it, what I might now ask the wonderful team at FranGlobal to do is press play on my video of my presentation.
(9:17 p.m). Atmosphere buzzing. Competition fits. Colleague distracted. Probability of impressing down to 43%. New target acquired. Status closest rival. Drink the perfect gin and tonic. That does look good. And what's this?
I'm not sure we can see it. I can't see it at my end, but.
(9:17 p.m). Atmosphere buzzing. Competition fierce. Colleague distracted. Probability of impressing down to 43%. New target acquired. Status closest rival. Drink the perfect gin and tonic. That does look good. And what's this coming at? Dessert o'clock. Oh wow. No, Sammy, head in the game. She's going for my dessert. Clear distraction technique. Cheap trick. Double 13 for the win. Become the dart. A touch too early, but I'll take it. This is it. Wait a second. Ascertaining cause of failure. Solution found. Optimum distance acquired. Success guaranteed. 3, 2, 1. Mess with the bullseye, you get the horns.
Oki is a tech company going into hospitality to create shared happiness for our customers. When you look at the combination of the game, the food, the beverage and the service, we say it's not about the game, it's about the experience. Competitive gaming as an industry is really at the beginning of its life cycle, and Oki is really at the forefront of this global hospitality trend.
On our menus we have some signature dishes, for example spicy tuna cone. Flavor-wise it's quite interesting as you eat it because you start with a caviar flavor and then you go through acidic tuna that's been lying in lime juice together with habanero oil, so it kind of brings back spiciness in the end. So you have like a journey through one bite.
So how new franchisees will make money with Oki is really around our three aspects. So food, which delivers great margins, and that's similar to our beverage proposition, but it's this third factor of gaming where there are no cogs, in which case that delivers on the bottom line and also means that your percentage of personnel cost per venue remains quite low. So if you want to learn more about Oki, please come to our booth where the brilliant FranGlobal team will be there to assist you. Okay, if you go on to the next slide, please. Thank you. So it's this combination of the game experience and international sharing plates and our wonderful beverage that really does create the Oki experience. And we combine that with the look and feel throughout the venue that really is enticing for both men and women. And our demographic is 50% men and 50% women. So, and whilst we don't have an age range, what we do tend to find is this does very much appeal to sort of 20 to 40-year-olds. But as I said, anyone can play Oki. And if we just keep on that last chart, moving a little fast, then if you could just go back, please, to the previous chart. Thank you. Then enabled us to build Oki into a real powerhouse in this industry called competitive socializing. And in essence, what competitive socializing is a gaming element combined with food, combined with beverage. And it's this combination of those three factors that really does set aside. I will also then come on shortly to talk about why that combination of gaming, food and beverage really does help in terms of profitability. If you just move on to the next slide, please. So in terms of proven and profitable, when you look at the combination of the game and the food and the beverage, you not only have a P&L from a food and beverage outlet, it's this additional element of gaming where we charge people for the game of darts, and people will pay $6 or $7 to play the game of darts, and that is with no cost of goods. So that additional revenue stream not only improves the top line, but significantly improves the profitability of the bottom line. Hence, versus traditional just food and beverage outlets, what we're able to do is to provide a very relevant, very vibrant, very experiential experience for people coming into our venues. But for you as franchise operators, a very profitable concept where we combine each of these three elements. The proven aspect, if we move on to the next chart, please. Is that we've been able to prove this across the world. And we're a Norwegian company, started in Oslo, but then moved to Australia in Brisbane, Amsterdam, Gothenburg. We have another concept called Shuffle, where we've automated the game of shuffleboard, and we've built that in Oslo. We're also in London, Melbourne, Singapore, and we are currently building in Dubai, and we'll be open in Dubai in the first week of January. So we've been able to prove the concept that it works across geographies. We're now in 3 continents, we'll be in 4, and nearly 10 venues around the world. So we've proven the concept already across a number of geographies, and we've proven the profitability through this combination of the money received by gaming with no cogs, with food and with beverage. And I combine that with a capital structure whereby we've focused on the things that are important to the customer in terms of our fit out, and we've been very cost effective on the things that aren't important to the customer. So if you look at the P&Ls that we can achieve and the investment that is required, then we should be able to deliver. And obviously we will have to work through this individually with each person that's interested in our concept, but we can see a proposition here that will be able to deliver somewhere between 1 to 2 year paybacks based on the P&L structure in India of the low cost of goods for the food and beverage, and the low labour costs. And if we're clever in terms of the rental, getting the right rent to revenue model, you should be able to attract and have a very, very profitable P&L. And we've worked that through with the FranGlobal team and experts in India and hospitality to go through our P&L line by line so that we can verify that and have some great confidence in terms of what that looks like. If we go into the next chart, we'll look at what does the profile look like and where are we focusing. We are looking for partners across the breadth of India. It would be nice to find one person that could cover the whole of India, but it's such a vast business and country that we think that we will be looking for partners that would operate within each of these cities. Without being too strategic, we know that Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, cities I'm very familiar with and have done business within. And if I think about Hyderabad and Bangalore, are perfect if I think about the role that they're now playing within the Indian economy of being parts of India that very much are suited to the sort of high-tech world where they've become almost tech hubs. If we look at the financial situation, if you just go back one slide, please. In terms of the financial situation, ideal location, I think in the Indian context, between 500 and 700 square meters would be ideal. We can fit our bar, kitchen, and a number of ockies into that space. Ideally, if you have locations that have previously been a bar or restaurant, it's helpful, not essential, but what that would help you to do is significantly reduce the amount of capital it would take to open up an ockie. And so hence, if you did that, the return on your investment would be a lot quicker. I think also the sort of locations are, look for locations that would not only attract business people, but through the week. So we tend to find that Monday to Friday, we have a steady stream of business people. They come after work. It's about team building. It's about entertaining corporate clients. But then from Thursday through to Sunday, it's very much a social experience. So finding locations that tick both those boxes and the ability to attract those people, really, really helpful. Our payback on average across the world has been between 2 and 3 years from an Indian context, given what I talked about on the P&L structure, lower COGS, lower labour costs, better rent to revenue. We think that's more likely to be between 1 and 2 years in India. If we move on to the next chart, please. So in terms of who makes a great partner with the social gaming group, the ideal would have all of these elements. We realise the world's not full of the ideal, but the first would be capital to fund the venue plan. We think to fit out an Ockie venue would be around 90 million rupee. So I think about $900,000, making sure that the translation works. So capital to be able to fund a venue plan, and what we would do is if we were talking about Hyderabad, we would sit down with you and say, for Hyderabad, for Mumbai, we think there should be X number of venues, and we would therefore be working with partners that could deliver on that. Ideally, you'd have F&B and hospitality experience. That is a very big part of the P&L, in which case having that is a very solid part of it. Having said that, we do train. We've got very clear operational and marketing manuals to be able to educate and bring you up to speed. The other would be ability to find, negotiate good real estate deals. It's an important element of the P&L, and I think If you've had experience in negotiating good real estate deals, you know where partners that could find you good real estate and then know what a good deal looks like. Each of these are just ways that you'll make more and more money. And finally, an entrepreneurial spirit. And that's all about seeing a great idea, seeing the market that you know in India or the city of Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, or any other cities across India, and then being able to bring that to life. So your role as our partner would be to find the venue. You would sign the lease. You would work with us. We would provide a basic design, but you would then develop it. You would then bring on the people to operate it, and we would help you in terms of the training of the operators, installing the tech, and getting you up and running. And from that point on, that would be, as an entrepreneur, your business to run, and we'd obviously provide guidance in terms of ways that you could make more money in terms of your operations. We move on to the next chart, please. You've heard a bit about my leadership background, but we're also very fortunate to have majority owners, Carbon Invest, a very serious tech investor from Norway that have over 20 businesses, and including groups like Crayon, which is Microsoft's largest reseller of software in the world, and Link. And Jens Rugseth is the founder and chairman of Carbon. And Christian Brenham is the chairman of the social gaming group and the Oki brand we're talking about, and also the CEO of Carbon Invest. So a solid experienced group and backing to ensure that your franchise partnership with us would be very successful. So thank you very much, and I'll open it up now for any questions.
Thank you, Troy. It was a wonderful session from your end. I'm sorry for the little technical difficulties that we faced.
I think we got through it.
Yeah, we got through it. So I just wanted to ask you about this term that you've been using, competitive socializing. So India is kind of very new to it. And so keeping that in mind, how do you want to position Oki or the social gaming group to an audience which is fairly new to this concept? Like, as in, will I mean, it won't resonate with the audience as much like a normal pub or a bar. So you're presenting something very unique. And so how do you want the people to relate to it?
Yeah, look, it's a great question, and it's the question we're asked, and we've probably done it the tough way. We've deliberately gone out into countries around the world and started from scratch. And what we've been able to do is go into a country where I would say the exact same question was around competitive socializing, not really very prevalent. But if I said what we have are the tools and ways to go into a new country, and via our marketing model, which is we can show people how through social media to build the brand and educate, through our outreach program with companies, that you can quickly go from having zero brand recognition to selling the venue out. As we've evidenced in London, we opened in July and we were selling out by November. So we have the experience to be able to train and work with whoever the franchise partners are to be able to take this, bring it to the marketplace, get people to try, and then once people come, what we say is we create shared happiness, and that's because they share the game, they share the food, and then they pull out the camera and then they share it on social medias.
Super. And I do have another question. You've talked about these international palettes and international plates that you have. So are you going to be localizing it according to the Indian cuisine, maybe?
a brilliant question. So when you look at our international sharing plates, they are designed from all parts of the world. But what we say is we will talk with whoever our partner is in India and say, this is what we know are the really strong sellers, no matter what country we're in. But that will be sort of maybe 20-30% of our menu. From there, we'll then work with the local chef to create sharing plates that will be absolutely perfect for the Indian market. So it's not a one size fits all. We do appreciate that food is a very local aspect, but by nature, we almost started out with a global mindset in terms of our food proposition. So we've got sanchoy bao from Korea, we've got ceviche from Spain, and we'll have elements that we will make sure that we bring into our menu for the Indian market.
All right. And the crowd that you're looking for, that would be on the affluent side, because most Indian people will not know what ceviche is or the Korean cuisine as much as chicken tikka, you can say.
Yeah, and I think we'll leave enough room on the menu to have things that they will know. The one thing that we have experienced is the world is getting smaller from a cuisine perspective. And whilst they may not know what it is, people are experiencing tastes from all around the world. But rest assured, there'll be enough plates on our menu for people to just stick to what they know. But probably what we tend to find, and particularly for the target market that we're going to appeal to, they will have experienced some of the types of foods that we're talking about somewhere along their restaurant world.
All right. Thank you so much, Troy. It was wonderful having you. And once again, we'll share all your information with our participants. And also, this is on YouTube, and we'll be sharing this link on our Facebook as well as LinkedIn. And any leads that we'll get, we'll definitely map it out to you and get back to you and speak to you soon then.
Wonderful. Thank you. Have a good
Thank you so much. Yes, you too.